have my trusty helper here. Thank you, Rihanna. If you can just sit there for me, thanks. I want you to hold up that. Don't open it, just hold it in there. All right, I have two gifts here. Now, if I was to offer you these gifts, which one would you choose? Point to it, please. Ooh, got a bit of a mix. All right. So I want you to think, so just hold it up high so everybody can see it too, thanks, Renda, because I'm sure there are a lot of young people at heart out there who'd like to learn about this lesson as well. And if you just pop them up here, and at the end of my little talk today, I wonder if it's still going to be the same gift that you will choose, okay? So, oh good. For the next few pictures, I want you to look at the whole picture carefully before making a judgment. All right? So you've made a judgment on one of these gifts. Now look at these pictures very carefully. So here's the first one. What do you see? What do you think it is? Bird. Yes? Cat. Oh, okay. One person said a bird, one person said a cat. Who is right? It is a cat, but you have to look very carefully because if you thought that was a beak, beaks aren't furry. It's actually a cat with one eye open with its head on the side looking up. Look at the whole picture carefully. All right, let's have another look at another picture. Is that one whole cow? What do you think's going on there? Yes, and it looks like there's only one. So you have to look at the whole picture carefully and think, that doesn't make sense. All right, let's look at another one. Is she floating? Now, if I let you look at this picture again, but I take something away from it, you might notice it differently. Does she look like she's floating now? So why did she look like she was floating? So if you just saw that picture and you were making a judgment about that picture, you might come away and say to people, I saw someone floating on the beach today, not in the water either. Next one. Look at the bus. Now look very, very carefully at the whole picture. What's really going on? Yes.
It's just a normal bus.
It is a normal bus, but what does it look like?
It looks like when it's all stacked up.
It does look, it looks like it's a whole building bus, doesn't it? But it isn't. It's just where it was taken, the photo was taken in front of a building. That looks the same colour as the bus. But you have to look carefully at the whole picture before you can make a judgment. Let's look at another one. Is that a child or is that an adult on a child's body? Look at what's happening there.
It looks like they're trying to get their baby.
So the baby's face is kind of smushed into the man's face and it looks like it's the man's face on the child's body. Look very carefully before you make a judgment. Now, does she have spaghettified arms? What's going on there?
She might have a toy monkey behind it.
She's holding a big white fluffy cat and because of the stripe on her jumper, it looks like she's got skinny little arms. Look carefully before you make a judgment. Next one. Now, these are two funny little rabbits with carrot tops. Which carrot do you think will be the biggest? Why do you think that one? Do you think this is a trick? Let's have a look. We should never judge by appearances. Let's look at this next thing. Oh, no. Do you think the mother is really going to be putting her baby's whole head in her mouth? Maybe we need to turn the lioness around and look at the other side of her. Much better. That's how they carry their babies. I'm glad I never had to carry my babies like that. But you know what? It's very easy to see the lioness in the first picture and think, oh, she's dreadful. And then we realise if we looked at the whole picture carefully, what was really going on. Do you know what that's a picture of? Looks like the top of a mountain. It's actually the top of an iceberg on top of water. Now, people see the iceberg and think it's so shiny and it's bright and it's beautiful and it looks perfectly created. And sometimes people can look at you when you've done something really good and they think, oh, they're so good at that. They didn't even have to try. But that's actually not quite true. An iceberg is only the tip of something much larger. Underneath, we don't see all the things that are going on. And what really happens in people's lives too, even though they might do something really exciting, they've usually had to work really, really hard to get there. There's a saying that says, don't judge a book by its cover. Who's heard that saying before? I have a couple of books here. Can you hold that for me, please, Rihanna? Now, this big book here, can you tell me, is that a heavy book? It's actually quite heavy. If you hold it up and have a look. This book was given to me by a very good friend of mine. And when I got it, I thought, I love reading books. Love big books. But I thought, I have got so many books to read. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to read this. It's quite a large book. I looked at the cover. I looked at the pages. And then when I opened it up, I was quite surprised. Can you just open up to a random page, please, and show them? Oh. There were no words. Then I turned some more pages. Oh, hold that up again. Oh, there were some words, but most of the pages were pictures. And you know what? It took me no time at all to read that. I judged that book according to what I thought looked like a big fat book, and I didn't realise what was inside. Now, here's another one. Well, actually, two of them. Can you hold those up? Now, I was very, very shocked when I saw these books because they actually say, do not open this book. What does the other one say? Do not open this book again. Definitely do not open this book. So there are books that the cover's telling me do not open it, but what are you meant to do with books? You're meant to open them. So what am I supposed to do with this book? It's very confusing. And you know what? The more I read through those books, because I did open them, they kept saying, don't turn the next page. Please do not turn the next page. Do not turn the next, and I kept doing it, even though it told me not to. It was very confusing. But that saying, don't judge a book by its cover, actually means this. Don't judge by appearances. And there's a great story about this in the Bible. You've heard of Samuel. Remember that little boy who heard God speak to him, saying, Samuel, Samuel? Well, he was a big man by now. And God had said to him, I want you to go and see all these sons that belong to a man named Jesse, and he lives in a place called Bethlehem. And I want you to choose a king out of his sons. So he went there and he went, that's a lot of sons. And he went up to the first son, you can see on the end there, who was very tall and very strong, very handsome. And Samuel thought, he's got to be the next king. He looks amazing. But God said, don't judge by the outward appearance. I know his heart, and I look at the heart, and he's not the one that's going to be the king. So Samuel went to the next son, and he said, well, he's just as tall, looks pretty handsome, looks pretty strong, must be him. Nope, said God, not him. So he went to the next son, and he said, well, he's a bit shorter, but I think he's quite intelligent. He's got a very intelligent face. It's got to be him. He's going to be the king. But God said, nope. You look at the outward appearance, but I know his heart. No, he's not going to be the king. So he went to the next one and he thought, well, he looks like he's pretty good with money. He's going to make a really good king. But God said, nope, you're looking at the outward appearance. I'm looking at his heart, not him. And then he went to the next one. He said, well, he's a very happy, jolly chap. I think he's got a great sense of humour. He'll make a great king. Nope. So he went to the next one. He looks small, but he looks wise. I think he could be a good king. No, not him. And then he went to the last one in the line and he said, well, he looks like a great talker. He could get up and give great kingly speeches. He'll be the king. God said, no. And Samuel turned to Jesse and said, are these all your sons? Not one of them has been chosen. And then Jesse said, do you know what Jesse said? he said, there is actually another son, but he's very little and he's out with the sheep. Do you want me to go and get him? Yes, said Samuel. See how small he is? And his name was David. And it actually says in the Bible that when he came in, he was glowing with health. He looked like a very healthy boy, but that's not the reason why he was going to be king. God said to Samuel, you're looking at his outward appearance, he looks small, but I'm looking at his heart, and I know he's going to have a heart after my own. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So let's get back to our little prizes here. You've looked at the outward appearance. One looks pretty ordinary, small. One looks pretty razzmatazz, large. Do you think we need to look in the heart of these presents to see before we make a judgment and make a choice? Do you want to have a look and see what's in the heart of the presents? All right, let's break the seals. I might need you to help me. You do that one. And then make a choice. Who thinks they know what might be inside? Just rip it apart. Okay, look in the heart. Look in the heart. What's in there? Oh, so, okay. Would you like to hold that up and show everybody what's inside the big razzle-dazzle present? Oh, you know, my dog would probably choose that because she loves sticks. There you go. Pop that in there. And what's in the other one? Who'd like to pull out that one and see what's in the heart? Thank you. Hold it up and show everybody what they are. Oh, so what choice will you make now that you can see beyond just the outside? So when Mr. Ibbott talks about judging today, I want you to think about, how do you judge people? Do you just look at the outside of them? Or do you think about their kindness, their courage, and the way that they act? Thank you. Yes, you may have a Freddo frog.